From Ottawa, the big story that is developing there on the political front, Candice Bergen, the new interim leader of the Conservative Party. She was elected late last night by MPs during the Wednesday evening caucus meeting, just hours after a wide majority of them voted to remove Erin O'Toole from the party leadership. Sources to CBC News say Bergen was one of 9 candidates vying for the position. She's represented the Manitoba riding of Portage-Lisgar since 2008, served as deputy party leader under O'Toole and opposition House leader from 2016 to 2020. She will lead a divided party into its 3rd leadership race since 2015, but she will not be running in that leadership contest when it's called. The party hopes to have a new permanent leader in place by the end of the year. Our national affairs editor, Chris Hall, has more on the dramatic downfall of Erin O'Toole and who the party may look to next for leadership.
Used to allow members of caucus to turf their own leader. So that alone is clearly a departure from the past. But clearly the problem that the Conservatives face with his leadership is that he ran to win the leadership as a conservative, real true blue conservative, as he called himself. He was for lifting the ban on assault weapons. He was apparently in favor at the time of making sure that there was no price on climate changing gases, on pollution. He changed those things to appeal to a broader reach of the Canadian public in the election campaign, alienating many of those people who had voted it for him in the leadership and many of the hardcore bedrock conservatives under Andrew Scheer and Stephen Harper. So clearly there was a signal of a shift here that people in the caucus were unhappy with some of the decisions that he had made, changing where he had stood previously, changing party policy. And as a result, he's out of the job today. Time is short if they're going to have a leadership race in 11 months. The name we most often hear and will be familiar to most of our viewers is Pierre Poilievre. He is the finance critic, has really positioned himself at the forefront on inflation issues, on affordability, kind of defining that area for the Conservatives, but also very vocal and very visible in his support for the convoy that has been blocking traffic in downtown Ottawa now for the better part of a week. He's been very supportive of them. So he would be, I think, the most formidable challenger or candidate to win the leadership. But, you know, there are other names that are being bandied about. James Moore, the former cabinet minister under Stephen Harper from British Columbia. I've even heard Jean Charest's name, for example, the former Quebec premier and former interim leader at the level, federal level, back when Brian Mulroney left. So these are names you hear. Michelle Rempel-Garner might be another one, a young female candidate from the West, but more moderate in some of her views, not interested in raising abortion or LGBTQ issues. She thinks that they need to move ahead and become a more moderate party. So those are some of the names we'll hear, but it is still very early. It will depend on how much money people can raise, what kind of support they can get from the membership. It will be interesting to see who wants to put their name forward.
Chris Hall in Ottawa.